Here we go, boys and girls. Here we go. Here we go. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's lesson. I know it's a little bit funky the way we left some of those problems, but with some practice, with some repetition, you're going to get the hang of it. And as a matter of fact, we're going to spend another day on it, doing the exact same thing. A little bit more to it. Same idea, same stuff, same concept. How you guys doing, by the way? I'll talk to you at the end. Let's get into it. Divide radicals, day 2. Just like we talked about yesterday, the way I divide a radical is I multiply the top and the bottom by the radical on the bottom. So I have root 6, root 2. I look at the one that's on the bottom, multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 2. Now, if you want a quick explanation about what's going to happen in the denominator, go back and rewatch yesterday's video. But real quick, real fast, up here at the top, I got a whole number. I got a couple of radicals, so that is 3 root 12. Down here in the bottom, root 2 times root 2 is going to come out to be 2. You know it. If you don't understand why, go back and rewatch yesterday's video, the beginning of the video, the first 3 problems, run through that explanation, okay? Now I got to simplify if I can, where I can. Square root of 12. We broke down radicals all before break. We're going to break down radicals again. Square root of 12. I'm just going to work sideways at this thing because that's where I got some room here. That's a 3 times a 4. 4 is 2 times a 2. So I got 2 2's and a 3. Those 2 2's are getting out of the radical. The 3 is staying inside the radical. So we talked about this before. When those 2's get out of the radical, there's already a 3 out there. So now I have 6 root 3 over 2. So again, those 2 2's went out of the radical, made 1 2, and multiplied by the 3 out here. Left inside was this 3 right here, is this 3 right here. Okay, now I've got some whole numbers I can simplify. Divide by 2, I get 3. Divide by 2, I get 1. So now my final answer is 3 root 3 over 1, or just plain 3 root 3. A lot of simplifying here. Pay close attention. Again, we start by multiplying by the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 to get a whole number in that denominator. Break down a radical. That's not new. We've done that a lot of times. Break down the radical, simplify the 2, and then I simplify the fraction. Number 2. What am I going to multiply by on the top and the bottom? Precisely right. Square root of 5. Do this. You might be looking and saying, oh, I see some things that are going to simplify. Good. I'm glad you see them now. Go through the steps, especially early on in these lessons. Make sure you understand what's happening. Don't get rushing and get skipping steps and making mistakes. Take your time. Do it right. So, again, whole number, no whole numbers. So that's 5. Root 10 times root 5 is root 50. Denominator, root 5 times root 5 is 5. Always going to happen for us. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. Root 5 times root 5 is 5. Again, go back and rewatch the other video if you need more explanation of that. Plus, I'm trying to drive up hits on my YouTube channel. Trying to become internet famous after all this. Simplify our radicals. Square root of 50. Again, I'm going to work sideways because that's where I've got some room here. I've got 5 times 10. I got 5 times 2. Pair up those 5s. Take them out. Got 1 5 outside the radical. I already had a 5 outside the radical. Now that's 25. Had 1 2 left in. There's my 2 left in. My denominator is still 5. Simplify your whole numbers if you can. 5 goes into both of those. Easy peasy. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. And my answer is 5 root 2. One more shot. One more example. Number 3. Again, just like yesterday, the only thing that's a problem in that denominator is the square root of 2. The 3 doesn't bother me. Okay? So all I need to multiply by is the square root of 2 on the top and the bottom. It's the only problem I got. So, whole number, Square root of 8 times the square root of 2, square root of 16. On the bottom, root 2 times root 2 is 2. You got it. There's already a 3 there. So the 3 and the 2 multiply to be 6. Now, just like all the rest of these problems, I simplify that radical. Bells, alarms, and whistles should be going off in your head. Square root of 16. That should be jumping out at you. That's a perfect square. We know that. That's a perfect square. Now, this problem's going to look real funky here because the way these problems, this right here, the square root of 16 is exactly 4. So all of this equals 4. But I already have a 4 here. So now I multiply them together. So that looks a little funky. If you're kind of bedazzled and just, blown away by all this stuff, hey, how come the 16 stayed at 16? 16 didn't stay at 16. The square root of 16 is 4. 4 times 4 goes right back to 16. Okay? So, simplify. 2 goes into both of them. I get 8. I get 3. 8 thirds. My 8's taking a nap. There you go. There's the lesson. Radicals in the denominator cannot have radicals in the denominator, so we've got to take care of it by multiplying by what that radical is. Root 2 times root 2, root 5 times root 5. Only the radical is the problem. Step 2, simplify your radical. Break it down, take something out, break it down. If there's already something out there, which there will be, multiply them together. If it's a perfect square, it comes out to be a whole number, no radicals left. Third step, simplify those whole numbers if you can. There you go. All things you can do. We're just taking different things that we've done in the past, bringing them together in one problem. We've multiplied radicals. That's not new. We've simplified radicals. That's not new. We've had perfect squares show up. That's not new. We've certainly simplified fractions before. That's not new. Steps you've done in this order, you're in great shape. All right. Still thinking about you guys, still missing you guys. So take care of yourselves. Again, you need anything, reach out to me, give me a holler, and talk to you later.